Hi guys, and welcome to the Birmingham vs Sunderland match preview. So Sunderland do go to Birmingham tomorrow night, Friday, 8 o'clock kickoff. It is on Sky Sports and it is a very, very important game. The last game before, of course, the World Cup. So it's a massive, massive game for us. And it is a must-win in my eyes. It is a must-win purely because, yes, we only won a couple of games ago, but with how tight the table is now, and I only said recently on social media, if you don't follow me on Twitter already, do so. It's Joel_Gradwell, that's my name. I was just saying the other day, or yesterday I think it was, I'm not taking the league table too seriously right now because we're 6 points off the bottom of the league, but we're only 6 points away from 8th. So it's really, really close. But I say it's a must-win because the last two performances have been horrible. Even against Huddersfield, I said this in the live stream last time out, against Huddersfield, I believe we played just as badly as we did last time out when we did get beat by Cardiff. I think they were both equally as bad as each other, both probably two of the worst performances we've seen this season. Huddersfield could have been miles out of sight, but they were just wasteful in front of goal. But we managed to get a couple of goals and it sort of paved over the cracks a little bit. But with two poor performances and bad performances like that, we need to go into this break on a high and get a really good win against Birmingham, and that isn't going to be easy. It isn't going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. Birmingham, they had a little bit of a rocky start and then they've really turned the tide, particularly since sort of mid to early October. If you have a look at them, since the early October, I think it's the 8th of October, yeah it is, beat Bristol City 3-0, beat Hull away from home 2-0, drew with Burnley and we know how good they can be, they drew 1-1 there, they picked up a defeat against Blackburn away from home, but then it's a great run again. Birmingham, they've beaten QPR 2-0, drawn with Millwall 0-0, beating Stoke away from home 2-1, then a draw against Swansea 2-0, they got a last minute equaliser there through Troy Deeney. They've got some really good players in there. We've got Dion Sanderson, who we're very familiar with. A class act, absolutely class act. And I wish we could have kept hold of him. Excellent centre-back with a huge potential and huge future. And up top, they've got the likes of Scott Hogan, who is a big brute. Troy Deeney, so experienced, so clever off and on the ball. Another big brute. So we need to be on top of our game because they're a very good side now, Birmingham, and I thought they'd not be down there at the beginning of the season before the signings they made and what have you. And there have been some very shrewd signings there. And they're a good side, good football. And I think to get momentum back in the lads and get a bit more confidence back in the lads, it's to play a good side like Birmingham and get a result. Whether we will get the result is another matter because we need to improve drastically. What was so frustrating for me with Tony Mowbray against Cardiff was the first half against Cardiff was 100% the worst half of football we've played this season. 100%. And then he didn't change it at half-time. It was strange because the game before, he did change it. When things weren't looking great, he changed it. He brought off the central midfielders for a completely different central midfield partnership. He brought off, I think it was Evans and Embleton, and brought on Barr and Neal, and it changed the game. For that game, it was perfect. It was great management. But he watched the first half of football and deemed that to be okay to go into second half with. We concede, and then he changes. It's reactive, and it's poor. It was terrible. At no point, and some of his changes were very questionable at that as well. So he needs to learn from that as well. I can't blame it all on Mowbray, but my God, it was a poor performance in the first half, and it was just as bad in the second. And he took far too long to do anything about it as well. So that was very, very frustrating. But going into this game, because of how badly we've played, I think we should change the shape a little bit and change some personnel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you my preferred 11 for this game. Hopefully, I think this 11 might be able to do a job. You let me know in the comments down below who you would go with or what you think about my 11. So this is my preferred 11, not predicted 11. Now you might be thinking, Joel, what the hell is this? But I think with the three at the back, we look a lot more solid because over the last couple of games, we've looked shaky as hell at the back, really, really amateur. When we've gone to the four at the back, we're Sirkin on one side and we've got 09 at the right back and then we've got Botton and Bailey Wright in there. We've looked so shaky, and particularly against Cardiff, I think Bailey Wright was dreadful. And we've been all over the place against Huddersfield as well. I just don't think it works. I think we're more compact when we have Sirkin, Botton, 09 in there. I think they know the roles better than when we go forward at the back. I like that trio there. And then we've got Jack Clark on the left-hand side. Yes, I prefer to have him a bit further up, but he actually improved drastically in terms of his tracking back in his defensive work. So I don't mind Jack Clark there because I don't think there's anyone there right now who can do that job quite as good as him. Over on the right-hand side, I would have had Roberts, but he isn't great at tracking back and he leaves 09 all by himself. So I've gone with Trey Hume. Whether that would happen, I don't know. But Trey Hume, he is naturally a defender. Now in the middle, I've gone with Evans because I thought he did calm us a little bit in the middle and we started to gain control a little bit more in the middle. I think he had a terrible game against Huddersfield, Evans, and that's why he come off. But then when he did come on against Cardiff, he's shown his value to the squad, calmed it down. But then Barr, of course, we did start with Barr and Neil against Cardiff, and I think they were both just as bad as each other, but I think Neil was worse than Barr. He contributed very little. But Barr, although it was very easy for Cardiff to walk through that midfield, when Barr did get the ball, he was so positive and there were so many glimpses of class and quality with him that I just think if you already start him off with Evans, with the experienced head who can sit behind him, and it gives Barr that licence to move forward, and I think that could be really, really good for us. Now, up top, I've gone with Bennett, because I think he deserves to start. Every time he comes on, he looks lively, but giving him 15-10 minutes here and there, I think it's unfair, and it's generally when we're losing, which isn't great. I think because of the performances we've seen so far, or over the last couple of games, it's been that bad, he needs to start. He needs to start, definitely not freaking Diaku, but either way, so you've got Bennett there, or Bennett. I keep on saying his name different every time, but either way. Over on the right side, I could have gone with Roberts, but I think with Diallo, he might just shade it for me at the moment. I mean, I wouldn't really be bothered whether it was Roberts or Diallo, but I've just shaded it with Diallo there and Sims to start up top to have a focal point. I would probably be happy with that. Like I say, I just think we need to shift around in defence and maybe something a bit more compact in the middle, because we've been so easy to walk through and we give so much space home and away over the last couple of games, and I think we need some kind of foundation and solidity in the middle and at the back, and I think this system, we're just used to it a bit more. But I could be wrong. I just think it needs to change, and quickly. Something has to change. Let me know again in the comments down below who you would go with and what you think about this system. You could completely disagree with me. That's absolutely fine. As long as it doesn't get aggressive in the comments and you just politely disagree, I'm fine with that. But now to my score predictions. Like I say, it would be massive if we win this game. Absolutely massive. Because again, Birmingham, we're going away from home. They're a very good side. They've been doing well. And they are a nightmare. They can be a nightmare to play against. Like I say with Hogan and Troy Deeney, they've got the solidity of, they've got Sanderson at the back. They've got a plethora of quality in that side now. They do. And they're playing well. They play a good brand of football. I like their football. But if we go there and we play the football that we can play, but also add that bite and physicality, we can beat anyone in this league. That's the thing. Because so many times we see pretty football, nice little triangles. It's all well and good doing that. But when we come up against a side that show any form of bite, we are so weak in the challenge. There's players ducking out of challenges, and I hate that more than anything. We need a committed performance here. Do I think we'll get the win? No, I don't. But I am going to go with a 0-0, which I wouldn't be absolutely fuming about. It would be not a defeat. We're not going in with a defeat. But I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw, which again, I would probably just about take. But with how tight things are in the league, of course, I would prefer a victory. So would every other Sunderland fan. But I'm going to go with a 0-0. So that's it, guys. That is my preview. What do you guys think? And what score would you go with? Do you agree with my lineup? And what lineup would you go with as well? But if you have enjoyed, please hit the like button for me. It really, really does help out if you hit the like button for me. Takes 1 second. And subscribe if you're a regular viewer to the channel. You're not yet subscribed. Again, takes 2 seconds. It's completely free. And that's it. But there we are. You guys take care and stay jamming.